definitely has to do with money. One. Two, I think Manny Pacquiao, I think his C game is a lot better than anybody, a lot of guys' A game, even with the age. But you have to take into account the last time he stepped foot in that ring against Ugas. You know, he didn't look good. He was outmatched by, a fighter, a younger fighter. Barrios is no slouch. Barrios is a young fighter, bigger fighter, knows how to, control distance very well, can punch a little bit. Like, he's no easy task for anybody in the welterweight division. And for Manny to come back after this long and to face a young guy like that is dangerous. And sometimes, these old legends, they got to get beat up several times before they call it quits.
Manny Pacquiao is set to face Mario Barrios in a highly anticipated fight this July, and the boxing world is already buzzing as professionals have begun sharing their thoughts and reactions to the upcoming matchup.
Well, obviously, it has to be pertaining to any kind of money. It has to be financial. I mean, any fighter that comes back, especially from retirement, a guy like Manny Pacquiao, it definitely has to do with money. One. Two, I think Manny Pacquiao, I think his C game is a lot better than anybody, a lot of guys' A game, even with the age. But you have to take into account the last time he stepped foot in that ring against Ugas. He didn't look good. He was outmatched by, a fighter, a younger fighter. Barrios is no slouch. Barrios is a young fighter, bigger fighter, knows how to, control distance very well. Can punch a little bit. Like, he's no easy task for anybody in the welterweight division. And for Manny to come back after this long and to face a young guy like that is dangerous. And sometimes, these old legends, they got to get beat up several times before they call it quits. That Ugas fight, I don't know if it was enough for Pacquiao. That's why he's coming back. But Barrios, he can he can finish Pacquiao. There's a possibility that he can finish Pacquiao and basically cause him to go back into
Manny Pacquiao is currently coming off two notable defeats, one in the political arena in the Philippines and the other in the boxing ring against Yordenis Ugas. His return from retirement has raised eyebrows, with many speculating that financial motivation is a key factor behind his comeback at 46. Boxing legend Ricky Hatton weighed in, pointing out the trend of aging fighters returning for high-profile bouts. It's boxing today, isn't it? If you can let a 58-year-old Mike Tyson fight Jake Paul, then Manny Pacquiao coming back at 46 doesn't look too bad. However, Hatton questioned the legitimacy of Pacquiao immediately fighting for a world title after a 6-year absence. How's he getting a world title shot after being retired for so long? He should have been dropped from the rankings. Now he's suddenly 5th in the world. How can a comeback fighter be in the top 10 without any warm-up fights? Hatton acknowledged Pacquiao's greatness in the past, but emphasized the uncertainty surrounding his current form, adding, "In boxing these days, money is everything."
It's just sad that he feels any reason or urge whatsoever. However, on the other hand, fighters fight. It's what they do. Hey, Jim Lampley was gone for 6 years. Was it stupid for him to choose to come back and fall a fight? Was it a risk? Was there a possibility that he could embarrass himself and fall on his face? Are there some viewers and listeners out there who think that's exactly what he did? Sure, that's possible. But I was back doing something I love and I was getting paid for it. So I understand why Manny wants to come back and do something he loves and get paid for it. But it's one thing to talk into a microphone when you've been a few years away and you're a little bit older. It's entirely a different thing to go in and hit and get hit. And he made ungodly, indescribable sums of money. So I wish it were enough, but I'm not surprised.
Manny Pacquiao is a legend in the sport, and it's only natural that he'd feel the urge to fight again. Many professionals understand that completely. Amir Khan even commented, saying it's a fantastic opportunity for Mario Barrios, who needs a big fight, will be paid well, and gets the chance to face a legend like Pacquiao, something every fighter dreams of. Khan added that Barrios deserves this shot because every boxer wants that big payday, and this could be huge for him. Reflecting on his own time training with Virgil Hunter, Khan mentioned he used to spar with Barrios frequently and knows he's a very good boxer. The real question now is how much Pacquiao has left in the tank. If both fighters were in their prime, Pacquiao would win hands down. But with Manny coming off a long layoff, this could be a tricky matchup. Barrios will come in hungry, knowing a win could change his life, while Pacquiao, who's already had a great career in both boxing and politics, doesn't need to return. But sometimes you miss the sport, the recognition, and the love that comes with it. Still, time away from the ring is dangerous, and at this stage, you're always just one punch away from getting hurt. Whether Manny still has that fire in his belly remains to be seen, but there's no doubt people will show up to watch.
Yeah, Barrios is champion, so it's a good fight. Don't count Pacquiao. Everyone's counting Pacquiao out because of his age. So you're a bunch of haters, man. He still has tons of power, tons of speed, and a shitload of experience.
If Manny wins, would it shock you or no?
No.
Would it shock the whole world?
It would shock the world, but he wins at his age. Yeah, I mean, it's not. Listen, he's 45, 46. 45, 46, but he's not. He's always active. Guys always stay active. He's always doing something. Mostly playing basketball and some sort of sport.
Surprising. Obviously, I know Manny very well. You know, he's a true competitor. He's a guy that if you put something in his head, and obviously to create more history, he's a guy that's going to give everything and try his best. That's what Manny. One thing I always learned with Manny is give 110% and try your best no matter what. So he's going to give it his all. Again, you can't beat Father Time, but Father Time is hard, and it was very hard watching him fight Lucas, and you could see it. And then watching the exhibition he had with the Korean guy or the Japanese guy in last year, it was hard to watch. I know Manny. I know the man that I was sparring. I love that guy. So, but again, he's a legend, and in terms of.
It's clear that plenty of people aren't too keen on Manny Pacquiao making a comeback at this stage of his life and career. While he's a legend with nothing left to prove, concerns about his age, long layoff, and whether he still has the same fire are understandable. Some believe he should focus on his successful political career and enjoy retirement rather than risk his legacy or health. Still, for others, especially fighters like Mario Barrios, facing someone like Pacquiao is a dream opportunity. Both, financially and professionally. It's a fight that brings excitement, but also raises serious questions about whether it's the right move for Manny at this point.
Are you cool with Pacquiao against Mario Barrios?
I am. I'm cool with it. If I was cool with Manny Pacquiao coming back and fighting Keith Thurman, I'm definitely going to be cool with this one. Barrios is not a puncher. Thurman was one of the biggest punchers in boxing. I think he's going to be just fine with Mario Barrios, who we know what he is on the top level. He comes up short. He's been stopped by fighters that are less than Manny Pacquiao, Tank Davis. So I like this fight. I think he's not going to be an overwhelming favorite, but I think it'll be a 50-50 fight, regardless of his inactivity and age. His explosiveness, even at this age, his greatness, and the fact that you can never know what Barrios you're going to get. And yeah, man, I like this fight. Why not? Nostalgia, marketable. Everyone will be behind him. It'll be internationally successful. I'm in.
How are you comparing Pacquiao coming back this summer at 46 after not fighting in 5 years to Pacquiao in 2019 fighting Keith Thurman, which came after back-to-back wins over Lucas Batiste and Adrian Broner? Those two scenarios could not be more different.
And in that way, I'm very concerned. I don't want to stop anyone from making a living, from making money. But I'm very concerned with a guy, a great man, who's helped his people, who's fought for his people, who's lifted his people up, who's given away money to his people, probably too much. But he gave away money to his people, that is in a position now that he has to fight at 46 after 72 fights. I'm concerned. And that tells you something. I just think you're playing with fire. That's all I think. Yeah, you can move around, you could move around, navigate a little bit, say this, say that. But there comes to a certain point with everything that no matter how much you move the furniture around, you still know what room you're in. You still know what room. You can't fool yourself. And he's in a room where he's 46 years old with 72 fights.
Eddie Hearn has been careful not to speak too harshly about the fight, but he made his stance clear, saying, he'll never beat Barrios in a million years, number one, and I don't even rate Barrios that highly. Hearn added that while a big win could potentially earn Pacquiao a shot against his stable of fighters, especially given Pacquiao's past status as a WBC world champion, he doesn't believe that will happen, nor does he think it should. He shouldn't be fighting, and he certainly shouldn't be fighting for a world title, Hearn said. Still, he made it clear he won't be publicly condemning the bout, stating, "Of course, I'm not going to sit here and say, it's disgraceful that he fought Barrios, so I'm refusing to let any of my fighters face him." Meanwhile, former fighter and pundit Spencer Oliver pointed to Pacquiao's last outing as all the evidence fans need, saying, Pacquiao looked a shell of his former self in his last fight against Ugas. He's had a long career. He turned pro in 1995. He's a great, but he's coming back now. However, the most controversial part of this entire situation is the WBC's decision to sanction the fight as a world title bout, a move many see as completely unjustified and a stain on the credibility of the championship.
We're gonna be worried about what happens in that fight because Barrios may be the easiest of the champions. Maybe that's why Manny decided to come back and give it a try. But even then, Barrios is young. Barrios is a strong guy, that could actually hurt Manny. Manny didn't look good in his last performance. This is a couple years ago, and it was kind of embarrassing to see Manny end up like that. Hopefully, he gets in great shape. Maybe he gets a really good nutritionist or somebody that's going to help him very well. But I don't see things going right with Manny at this point anymore. Hopefully I'm wrong. I would love to see him become champion again because, like Paulie said, it gives all the other guys, a big fight, a big opportunity, and maybe we'll see Floyd come back and do a rematch with Manny, and it'll be a huge fight. I really don't know, but it might be sad to see Manny back in the ring. That's what I'm thinking.